Is it okay to look at Eduardo?
Yeah, yeah. You can look.
Ray, you're one of my favorite commentators.
Thank you.
Uh, what can you tell me? How do you prepare for a game? Do you have like any ritual before a game?
Sure, but it comes from a lifetime of experience within the game, first of all, because if that soul and that passion isn't in you, it's not going to come out. But the actual ritual of preparation starts in the normal way, just like yourself. When, as a journalist, you get all of the sheets in the newspapers and you scrutinise them and you go over in your head what type of game. But then there's such a spontaneity about broadcasting for me on television, and maybe I'm not as disciplined as what I should be, but I don't care, because my spirit is always going to be released by the beauty of the football that I see being played in front of me, and it excites me, and it gets to me, and my challenge is always to reach into the verbal palette and pick out the right expressions and the right words and put a frame around these wonderful teams and these wonderful players and do them justice, because it's not good enough to say, oh, that was brilliant, or that was good, or that was outstanding. For me, that doesn't do it. It needs to be amplified and exemplified in every way to colour the wonder that we see in these players. They deserve it. And, my challenge is to dip into that and get the right phrase and the right expression. And it's like dipping into a chocolate box with me sometimes. I don't know what the hell I'm going to bring out, but it seems to work, and it seems that more people like it than don't like it.
Ray, I love your style, but is there any time when you face criticism for calling the game the way you were calling it?
Absolutely, you'll always face criticism. A great player that I played with, Eduardo Banvalley, became a very controversial commentator, and I was asking him, because I was aware of the criticism, and that you can't please everybody all of the time, but Eduardo said to me, he said, Ray, 50% of the people love me, 50% of the people hate me, and that's okay. And I like to think that there's more than 50% that love me. And I'll tell you another thing, that in this country as well, I think in the developing of a game, I've been here 44 years. I came as a player, so I've seen the progress of this game in this country. And what a lot of the time in my telecasts, in my commentaries, I've tried to engage people that are the casual observers, while still paying full respect to the people who know the game and watch the game. And sometimes I can be a little bit too bombastic and a little bit too over the top, as they say, but it seems that younger generation in particular appreciate and enjoy it and like it, whereas the old fuddy-duddies are like, oh, I shouldn't be saying that. It's way too much colour in that. But I can't help it, and it's got us this far, and I've enjoyed every step of it.
What would you say is the best Liga game that you have enjoyed the most?
Unquestionably, it was the Barcelona 5-0 win over Real Madrid. And I can't remember the year it was, but that was an astonishing display of magisterial power and panache, and it was a pure demonstration of Barcelona at their most imperious. It was the most authoritative stylistic manner of football that I had ever seen. The quality of the goals was amazing, and it was the dismantlement of a fabulous team like Real Madrid, who were just footballed off the park and couldn't get close, and yet it wasn't a dominating performance. It was a close game. You look at the scoreline, it was 5-0. But Barcelona on that day were so ruthless that the point of their spear was so sharp, and the build-up to that game, the build-up to their goals was just so beautiful to watch. That was probably my favourite game to call, because it was a thing of exquisite beauty, and I think in that regard it spoilt me for everything that it's going to happen afterwards, because it couldn't get any better than that.
And lastly, about the World Cup, England did pretty well.
Yeah.
How do you evaluate England overall?
It was shocking, I think, to the majority of the England supporters. I didn't give them much chance at all, but I did feel as if they had elements in the game, elements in the team that were individually special, that they had a coach that depended more on the construction of the team rather than those individuals, and I think it paid big dividends. Southgate did an unbelievable job of coaching this team, because they weren't the big superstars that have been in previous editions of England. This was a brought together team that he depended on teamwork and team spirit, and he built that team around that ethic. And with every game, and let's be honest, they were very fortunate and rather lucky to get the draw that they did, but you can only beat the teams that you have in front of you. It's not their fault. They just had to go out and win, and they did so. And they were beaten by a better team in the last round in Croatia, but they go back with their heads held higher than the last, I don't know, half a dozen tournament teams, and it was great for the country of England that enjoyed that this stunning run. And it was cruel at the end, but everybody knew, I think, in the heart of hearts, that was as good as they were. It could have been different, but they weren't good enough in the end. But maybe they'll be able to build on it if they keep Southgate in charge.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Can I have a picture with you?